Hi, I'm Mark, and this is our footage of the Occupy movement.
Oh, this is an economist guy. Matt? Oh, yeah. Medicare is the solution, not the problem. Like that.
Reporting from downtown at protest.
This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Our healthcare!
Whose healthcare?
Our healthcare!
Whose healthcare?
Our healthcare! Single payer! Vote it down! Single payer! Everybody in! Nobody out! 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 Everybody in!
There's that one right here. I never thought this either.
Okay.
So is this like a school project?
Yep, we're doing a school project and reporting in on the protest.
Health and science.
Nice.
What does the protest mean to you?
It means freedom of speech, especially online, but out in the streets too. We're tired of politicians taking money.
How do you think the current recession has affected our standard of life?
People are losing their jobs. They don't have health insurance. They're losing their houses. They can't feed their family. Millions of Americans are back on food stamps. It's affected our economy in a bad way. And it's up to you to make the change, young man.
And last.
How do you feel about the current work of Congress and Obama?
You know, I think Obama's very well intended, but especially like when it comes to healthcare, I don't think he got to the bottom of the project. Unfortunately, we've still got 2 wars and I don't think we should be involved in. We've got issues with jobs, corporations sending work overseas. I mean, we have got so many issues that I don't know if we blame him. Definitely we can blame Congress because several of the Republicans have just stalled any progress.
I have health care, I have a job, but I still march because there's so many people that don't.
All right, so we'd like to ask you first, what is single payer?
Oh, that's a great question. So this would be like a healthcare system, a little bit like the library. So if you're sick, you go to a clinic. You don't have to prove that you're poor. You don't have to prove that you're a citizen. You just go to a clinic and you get the health care you needed. They have had this before. Vermont has this, and we're bringing some people, December the 12th, we're bringing people from Vermont to Oregon to tell us how they got it in Vermont, because we're trying to get it state by state. It'd be better if they did on national level, but the politicians don't seem to be able to do anything.
You know who's not part of the 99%? All those who have a problem helping those who need the help. And we pay for it anyway. And if you go to a sociology class, you know, your sociology teacher will tell you that a huge portion of our population gets their general health care in the emergency room. We all who have health insurance pay for those premiums because it has to be paid somehow. The doctor in the emergency room has a Hippocratic oath that he has to take care of you if you're ailing or dying. Okay, so instead of paying for that at the back end, which we've come to find out is more money than it would if we had universal health care at the front end, then you have to ask yourself, why is it people are so against it?
Do you think the Republicans and the Democrats will be able to work together?
You know, if they could get outside of themselves and get over some of the, you know, the game playing and the politics and really do what they were sent there to do, and that's to take care of their constituents. Like they represent folks all over the country. And it's all about game playing. It's not really about resolving problems anymore. So yeah, I think they can if we challenge them to do it.
You know, the injustice of the housing market, they blame it on people for taking loans that they couldn't afford.
Subprime loans?
Yeah, but when you buy a house and your mortgage broker and the bank tell you you qualify for the home, are you going to sit there and argue with them? Are you kidding me? I don't make enough money for that. No, you're going to say, wow, I just got a chunk of the American dream. and then a year out, your mortgage payment balloons on you, and now you have to be foreclosed on, and now you can't even afford a place to rent because your credit's screwed. So,
Predatory lending. Anybody who got a subprime, most people who got subprime home loans weren't people who should have gotten the loans, and it was predatory lending because there was no guarantee that they could pay the loans back, and so their homes ended up being foreclosed. Oh, were you prepared for this recession?
I am safe because I'm in medical school, so I just pay a lot of money. I pay for loans, so I get paid by loans, but I'll pay it back someday. So I will probably not be ready when I have to pay it back, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That's it?
Yep.
then as we're marching here, the health care, it's not affordable on a minimum wage.
All right, what do you think we should change the minimum wage to?
Well, that's hard to say, but I believe a livable wage for a family, a starting family, would be around $15 an hour. I mean, if you can take CEOs and boost up their corporate earnings, whether their company succeeds or fails, then why not the $15 an hour for your average American worker, so that they're not on the street, you know, contributing to the eyesore that most Americans say that they are.
All right, what do you think we will learn when this recession is over?
That people have all the power. People have all the power, and as long as people get motivated, or how do you say it? If the people get motivated and they have a direct message behind them, they always succeed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you think we handled this better or worse than the Great Depression of the 30s?
That's something I couldn't say, but I will say this. There are thousands and thousands of people that sleep outside every single night in Multnomah County and Clackamas County. Thousands. In the Great Depression, you also had that, but they had a place to sleep. They weren't just kicked from place to place. You know, if you don't sleep enough, you can die. You must sleep. Just like we have to eat and drink water, you have to sleep. But those people that have to sleep outside, it's just move along, move along. That's the national policy for homelessness, move along. So that is definitely worse than the 30s.
They could have spent that money on keeping schools open, keeping teachers employed, keeping firefighters employed, keeping your classroom size smaller so that you can go to school and actually learn what the teacher's trying to teach you, instead of feeling like you're in a mass daycare camp. All right, Joe.
How do you feel it compares to the 1930s recession? The Great Depression?
The Great Depression? Well, we're in a depression. We just want to call it a recession. How does it compare to the 1920s? In the 1920s, it seemed to be more real for a lot more people than it is now. Because you have so many people clinging on to what they have, and so few people trying to figure out why everybody's clinging on to what they have, instead of being upset about the mass injustice that's done to the population of this country.
The banking structure is all, it's all just imaginary money. The only way they get anywhere is by taking the true worth. And that's what the recession did. All it did was basically take more from the people.
I am mad as hell because I have a blood disorder that I inherited from my family, which a lot of those do happen because of that. I am considering not having children because the medical costs are so expensive for it. Luckily, when I found out about it, I had insurance. I was not insured for almost 10 years of my life. If I would have had problems with it at that time, I would have put myself in bankruptcy and my family. This is ridiculous. I was a bartender. How many bartenders, how many servers out there in the service industry? There are a lot of us out there. And this is inappropriate for us to go out without health care because we cannot afford it. I don't know who's going to serve your table when they're all sick, but I want some service and I want to help them, and I want them all to have access to health care. This is what makes me really mad, is bake sale posters, people trying to bake cookies to make money to pay their medical bills. That makes me so mad. This is unbelievable. This doesn't happen in any other country. So I decided to go find out about some of these people, one of them being the Jeremy Wilson Foundation. He tries to collect money from musicians that can't pay their medical bills. And I started reading those nasty posts, those comments that people put on there. And one guy said, hey, why don't you get a real job, one that provides health care? You want to know wish that that musician and every other musician would take that guy's job because they went to the same college and decided to do the same thing, so that guy didn't have a job. That's what I wish. And the other thing I wish is I would like to take out every piece of musical equipment in his house and in his car so he no longer can listen. That's why I'm mad as hell. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I do have health care, but I am pissed off, mad as hell, however you'd like to word it there. We've walked by hundreds, if not thousands of folks, fellow Americans who do not have health care, do not have a job, do not have a home to go back to, and we walk by them as if we don't even see them. You should turn around and look at your fellow Americans. This is the United States of America, not the divided states of America. So to all your politicians out there who decide that it's better money to just cast you to the side, then just think about it. Thank you. That makes me mad as hell.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Peter Marr. I'm a family doctor, and I have taken care of at least one of the 500 Oregonians who die every year for lack of health insurance. In 2009, I took care of a man who died of liver cancer. He had hepatitis C, and he had no insurance. If he had hepatitis C and insurance, he would have had regular ultrasounds of his liver to scan for a hepatoma, which is a liver cancer. Because he did not have insurance, he showed up at the hospital with end-stage liver cancer, and he died in my care. I am ashamed, I'm embarrassed, and this is unacceptable. I'm mad as hell.
Laws and rules made over a century. This should ring alarm bells for all who know their history. From this evidence, are we neglecting our memory and repeating the trajectory of the 20th century? And if so, upon seeing the facts and ceasing to act, don't we deserve the leaders we have? What needs to befall before we open the door and scream, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore? Or do we sit waiting for messiahs or aliens or a superhero if they're not all one and the same mean? History right now is happening. Will we ever get a similar chance again? History books will be written about events this month. The story they tell is up to us.
So we're having a forum at PCC at Cascade, PCC Cascade on Killingsworth, December the 17th from 1 to 4. And we're going to learn how they did it in Vermont and see what we can do here.
Be young and healthy now, you are just a banana peel away from disaster.
What are you out here for?
Because I want to support people that want it now!
Want what now?
I don't know what they want. They want health care or something, but they want it now!
We've had enough of this!
What?
We had enough of
What do
this!
you...
We had enough!
How do you feel?
I feel awesome, brother.